January of '97, Los Angeles Coliseum, Doug Henry's brightest dream came true. Pioneering back surgery, lots of prayers, and the belief that he would not only race again but would win again became a reality last weekend. Another surprise winner, Greg Albertine, took the checkers in round one. For the first time since his rookie season, four-time consecutive champion Jeremy McGrath finds himself winless going into round three. A new team, a new start will tonight be déjà vu for McGrath. From Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, it's round three of the Thor Parts Unlimited AMA Supercross Series. Hello, everybody. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed bringing you the action. The Supercross qualifying procedures. The top four riders qualify from each of two qualifying heats. The rest of the field moves on to the semis, where the top five transfer then to the main event. You've just been racing for the fun of it if you don't make the main, and only two more gate positions are determined by the last chance qualifier to fill out the 20-rider field. We're getting right to the racing now, ladies and gentlemen, as we take a look at the lineup for the first qualifying heat of the 250s. It's a big one with lots of great names. Ezra Lusk, Greg Albertine, the winner of the first round. They're both tied in the points. Let's go down to Marty Reed before we get underway. Marty.
Well, guys, as the engines fire up, I can tell you that breathing for the riders should not be a problem. Temperatures are in the 50s. It's very comfortable. But the dust that is actually the soil that makes up this track could make breathing for these bikes a little tough. They've been having to change filters after every round. If you get behind somebody, you're going to have a problem getting your bike some fresh air.
Thanks, Marty. Ezra Lusk, Albertine, Jeremy McGrath, Mike LaRocco, Michael Craig, Steve Lampson, the lone Honda rider, Jimmy Button, Kyle Lewis, Mike Kudrowski. Going down a big name of riders.
They're stacked with talent. There you get former teammates Lampson and McGrath lined up right next to each other. Remember, the first round was disaster for the both of them. A long start here, and it gets real narrow before the first corner. So if you don't get a good jump, you get squeezed in there, and it's pretty tight.
Wyatt Seals whispering to Jeremy McGrath. Jeremy nodding his agreement. The 30-second board, when that goes sideways, there's between 5 and 10 seconds remaining. That gate could drop at any time.
You can see how close it is, how close their hands are to each other. Only a few inches separating Lampson from McGrath.
Getting set to get this Phoenix Supercross underway. Engines revving big time now. Let's see who can get the whole shot. It's so important with that tight turn. Lampson noses out in front with number 15. Michael Craig right behind. Someone down in the corner. It's not Jeremy McGrath. He's in fourth position with Greg Albertine of Team Suzuki right in front of him. It was Kyle Lewis that hit the deck back in turn two. Right now, it's Steve Lampson, number 4, our leader, and starting to pull away from number 15, Michael Craig of Honda of Troy. Jeremy McGrath has moved into third with Albertine.
This is something new for Lampson. He hasn't gotten a whole shot in the 250 yet. He's worked his way into the lead and won a heat race.
Several riders on the bubble. Jason McCormick. Kudrowski in good position to move up.
Hard to remember Mike on that number 100. Making a move on Albertine behind your leader Lampson.
Lampson, Michael Craig, and Jeremy McGrath is right on his back fender with Mike Kudrowski, number 100, getting by number 8, Greg Albertine. So we've got quite a battle because one of those is not going to make the main event. Jason McCormick down, number 52.
That's right at the end of the whoop section. He got together with another rider and went down. Looks like he'll be going straight to the semi.
Oh, we're going to have a great battle in the bubble right now with Greg Albertine and Kudrowski, MK. Lampson is way out in front. Michael Craig and Jeremy McGrath right there. You see him in the battle for second place. And third and fourth, not much room between Kudrowski and McGrath as well. Number 100, Mike Kudrowski, getting back into Supercross racing after a retirement year last year.
McGrath never following, electing to choose that inside line right there before the whoop section. Doesn't get a very good run at it, but he didn't lose any spots.
There we see for the first time number 11 in blue. That's Ezra Lusk. Lusk finishing second in the second round at Los Angeles last week is putting the pressure on the winner of round one, Greg Albertine. Those three Well, that's going to be a close race all the way here in heat number 1.
I would expect that to get physical. All three of these guys get very aggressive when they have to, and there it goes right there.
Yes, Greg Albertine with the nice block pass. We're going to see a lot of block passes tonight, David.
I have a feeling it isn't finished with Kudrowski either.
Flying through the air. Lots of sand in the corners. It's going to be nothing but action from here. We'll see if they can hold on and who will go to the main event after this qualifying heat is over. We'll find out shortly.
Introducing the all-new Suzuki GSX R600. It's so quick, so intense, so dominating. Just to be fair, you might want to give the competition a bit of a head start.
1/900 pro race. Up to the minute race results now.
Bar to bars. They go over the triple. And Pingree right on his tail. Tries to box him out. Does so. Kevin Windham. Whoa!
You call 1/900 pro race. Bradshaw coming up now to challenge Doug Henry.
Oh, Pingree goes down with James Dobb.
1/900 pro race is absolutely the best.
Oh, what a bar-to-bar battle we've got going.
1/900 pro race, except no substitute.
In the Journal, a rock and roll banker makes massive bets.
A new court
emerging
ruling
as one
could
of the
influence
most
communications
powerful
over the
people
internet.
will replace Hero, the boss who knows you have another life.
Subscribe now and get 2 weeks of the Journal free with a paid 10-week subscription. That's 12 weeks for 66 cents per day. Call 800-327-8400. That's 800-327-8400 for the Wall Street Journal.
AMA Supercross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Honda, the winners of the last 9 straight 250 Supercross championships. Honda, come ride with us. And by Suzuki. Right now, your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. While we were away, number 100, Mike Kudrowski, went down on this soft track, or a soft portion of the track anyway, after some slight contact.
Soil here is very deceiving. Watch,
here's another look.
In the red right there. Ezra Lusk comes up underneath. I told you they were going to get physical, and there it is.
Tap into the hay bales, and Kudrowski's going to be looking at the semifinals. He failed to qualify in the first round this year. Out in front, Steve Lampson, in case you just joined us. Albie and Lusk battling it out right now for third. Lusk, number 11. What a comeback he's had this year. Good, steady riding. Here's Lampson, our leader. Lampson has had 2 horrible rounds coming into round 3 here at Phoenix. Lusk back in front of Albertine in the battle there. Albertine back and forth. You can see the sandy soil. Oh, Albertine did a Superman right there.
I don't think he meant it, but he pulled it off. He got out of shape in practice on one of the triple jumps, landed on a hay bale and crashed, missed most of practice, but he's getting his rhythm back here.
That's the battle for 4th, and only 4 riders go to the main event at our qualifying heat. Ezra Lusk will definitely be trying to get back on Greg Albertine.
Well, they're getting closer to the whoop section again. They got to go through this series of doubles and triples, but through the whoops is where Lusk was fast. He went over to the right side of the track. We'll see if Albertine can block that line.
Albertine winning the semifinal round in our first round of the year in Los Angeles, came back and won the race. What a great battle, though. We've had such great qualifying heats this year, David, and I think it's because of the level of talent. Lampson, Craig, McGrath, Albertine, and Lusk are top 5.
Albertine did, in fact, after the mechanics area, he took the right side of that whoop section. That's where Lusk was fast and made the block pass on him. He got him right back, and then it's going to be tough for Lusk to find another place to pass. The whoops has been a great spot unless you get in there and bump the rider out of the way.
This might not be the only battle either to find out who goes to the main event, as Larocco is starting to move up. into the 6th position. Out in front, Steve Lamson continues a flawless ride with Michael Craig of Honda of Troy behind him. Lots of space, though, between 1, 2, and 3. Jeremy McGrath solidly in 3rd.
Here they come again. Lusk trying to get on the inside.
Albertine's got the inside then on the turn, and his turnabout is fair play. Albertine comes across the finish line with several laps left to go.
It looks to me like right here Lusk is a little quicker than Albertine, but Albertine's doing a really good job of holding his line and taking the correct line to make it really tough for Lusk.
But Lusk is being patient in the areas he must be patient, David.
Well, you know, you could get too excited in a heat race right here and get in there, get aggressive, and Albertine's tough to move around. They could both go down. They'd have to go to the semi, so he's playing his cards right here.
Here comes Lusk on the triple.
Once again, Albertine, just enough, shuts the door. Here comes Lusk on the inside. He's going to cut him off so he can't do the double.
Great strategy by Ezra Lusk from Bainbridge, Georgia.
Now you can see because they couldn't do the double, they can't do the triple either. That's going to let LaRocco catch these guys.
Ezra Lusk, number 11. There was a time we wondered if he'd ever make a 250 rider after some disappointing seasons coming off a 125 regional victory. This is the final lap. Will Ezra Lusk hold on to make the main event?
Looks like he's already started to open up a little bit of lead there, Art, and Lamson he's got to be feeling great. Good lap times in practice, among the fastest, and a wire-to-wire heat win here unless he makes a big mistake in the last half a lap.
Well, Lammy, no doubt feeling the heat. Does a heel clicker that doesn't quite close, but what the heck, he's out in front.
Good enough.
Yes, sir. Steve Lamson, most encouraging ride he's had all season.
He's got a great rhythm through the whoops. He jumps way in and jumps way out.
The checkers for Steve Lamson, the winner of the first qualifying round, and Michael Craig an easy sail for number 2, as was the ride for Jeremy McGrath in 3rd. Ezra Lusk will be the 4th and final qualifier out of this heat. Oh, lots of names coming to the semifinals later. We'll be hearing from our winner when we return to Sun Devil Stadium.
Here outside the Newport Rib Company. I'm hungry, there's food inside, and I've got money in my pocket. Life's good. What do you like most about the food here?
The ribs are so tender and juicy. That's really what keeps me coming back.
It keeps me vibrant and full of energy.
It's a friendly atmosphere, and I think that comes from the owners.
So the Rib Company ribs are as good as home cooking ribs?
Definitely.
No, this is the best.
The Newport Rib Company, real food for real people, so get down here real fast.
Hi folks, Richard Houck here at Giant Costa Mesa Mitsubishi, Orange County's headquarters for quality and value. Snow's on the mountains, so it's time to think about getting that new sport utility vehicle, and we're announcing one of the largest inventories of the all-new exciting Montero Sport, the vehicle that puts sport in sport utility. Stylish, powerful, versatile, and like all our Mitsubishi vehicles, fun to drive. Special finance and lease programs in effect now, but only at Costa Mesa Mitsubishi, Harbor Boulevard, 1 mile south of the 405.
NBA action can you pack into 1/2 hour? How much can you handle? NBA Tonight, the ultimate half-hour wrap-up of the day that was in the NBA. Tonight at midnight, only on ESPN2.
After a 12th in the first round, a 10th in the second round, number 4, Steve Lamson, a tremendous qualifying ride. Let's go down to Marty Reed with Steve.
Well, Steve Lamson, before tonight started, you said, hey, I'm really not feeling any pressure being the only factory Honda rider, and boy, you showed it in that first heat.
Yeah, I felt really good. We've been working on my start slot this week, and I knew I had the speed, and I just got a good start and rode smooth, and my Honda's working great. I just got to thank those guys for working so good with me.
Track conditions. We've talked about the soil here. What was it like out there?
It actually was pretty good. It's getting a little bit torn up, but it's good for the racing. It makes it more technical and makes everything a lot closer. And I just got to say the fans here are great. I didn't even think there's going to be this many people here. So I just got to say thanks a lot for coming out, and you guys are awesome, let me tell you.
Steve Lamson, your Heat 1 winner.
You know, Steve Lampson making reference as we see him take the checkered flag of the tremendous crowd here at Sun Devil Stadium. The cars are still lined up on all the access roads to try to get in, and we've got a tremendous crowd already at the stadium. Lampson, Craig, McGrath, and Lusk on their way to the main event. Guys like Albie, LaRocco, Button, and Kudrowski will have to go to the main event as we take a look at our next qualifying try. Jeff Emig, you got a good tight shot of his eyes as he looks before putting on the goggles. Unnecessary evil in today's race, that's for sure.
Well, he's got to redeem himself from the first couple of rounds where he had good opportunities but got collected up in some unfortunate crashes. Look at Doug Henry.
Well, his mechanic is from Wisconsin. That says a lot for the Green Bay Packers side. And then the other side of his helmet is just like the rider next to him, John Dowd, who's from, of course, the Northeast and is a great Patriots fan. So Doug Henry's got two sides, two teams. 30-second board is up, getting ready here for our second qualifying heat. Henry, Larry Ward is also in this one. Damon Huffman, along with John Dowd, Greg Emig, Jeff Emig, I should say. Damon Bradshaw, Ryan Hughes, Michael Brown, Jeff Potasevich before he goes to Japan in April for his defending of that championship in Japan. Those are some of the names for heat number 2 as we get set to go. Ford is sideways. 201 was Michael Chamberlain getting ready, and we're set to go. Remember, we had one rider go down in the second turn in the first qualifying heat. 17 is Huffman. Number 3 out in front is Jeff Emig. Nice braking by Emig that time. Everyone gets through the second turn fairly clean. No one went down. It's Jeff Emig way out in front already as the field tries to narrow the gap. Number 3, Jeff Emig. Number 17, Damon Huffman, who in the last 2 rounds was suffering the effects of the flu. A great battle for third right now with Doug Henry moving into third.
Henry almost went off the racetrack, got squeezed out, still went for one of the doubles, landed against a hay bale, saved it. Made a quick move on Huffman right there, but Huffman was able to get the double and get him right back. But I have a feeling Henry...
Oh, Henry goes down in a dangerous spot as well. The riders, though, can see him. Huffman and Henry got hung up.
I think Henry was caught by surprise by Huffman taking the inside right there. Had nowhere to go, but right into him. It was kind of convenient. His bike didn't even fall over, so I know his handlebars are still straight.
Okay, so Ryan Hughes moves into second place, along with Damon Bradshaw in third. Doug Henry trying to make his way back up through the field.
Here's another look. Watch, Henry will go for the double. Just wasn't counting on Huffman stopping to the inside. And the bikes just parked, stayed upright, and they were able to get going pretty quick. But Henry did lose a lot of positions because it was so early in the race.
Here comes Henry trying to get back up through the pack.
Moving past Matasevich, he wasn't able to go for the triple there.
He's in ninth position. He's got a long way to go and a lot of good riders in front, but anything can happen on this Phoenix track. Back and forth. Hughes is staying out in front now of Bradshaw, but here comes Larry Ward right behind Bradshaw. Oh, another great qualifying round.
Ward's been putting a lot of pressure on these guys. See Ward going wide right there and getting a drive off of that berm where Bradshaw was getting a lot more wheel spin. It's really hard packed and slick there coming out of that corner.
Emig, our leader, with a 4-second lead in front of number 9, Ryan Hughes. Bradshaw, number 10. Having fun racing for this unit this year, Manchester Honda. Larry Ward right behind him.
You can see Bradshaw, as he entered that corner, he had to really come in tight, not allow any room for Larry Ward to go in there and take it away.
Well, in this position, Larry Ward really doesn't want to get too active with Bradshaw. These 4 riders right now are pulling a big lead on the rest of the field, and they've automatically qualified if they can stay upright and stay in these positions.
That's true. However, these guys are competitors. They want to do the best they can, build a little confidence.
Here comes Larry Ward making the move on Bradshaw. Bradshaw got that back wheel, though, in a good position where Larry couldn't cut the turn.
Good thing Larry's tall. He was able to use that long leg and keep it upright. He had to dab that foot down so he didn't fall over.
One of the important situations in qualifying is not only that you qualify, but where you qualify because of gate position. How important on this track? Henry off the track, coming back on. Having some bad luck in the qualifying round.
This isn't starting out good. Henry has won the first 2 heats of this series. No problem at all. Now it looks like he's going to have to go to the semi for sure. And like you said, Art, to be able to qualify in a good position gives you a good pick to the gate for the main event. And because it narrows down that first corner so crucial, being right where you want to be is going to be very important.
Well, we haven't been without a great finish in this year's qualifying heats yet. We've got more coming up.
Is a teacher.
Taxi, taxi! Oops, I'll catch the next one. Cool.
The Winter X Games continues tomorrow at 5 and 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Not everyone is invited to the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl. But you are. Tune in Sunday night on ABC Sports.
4 more riders trying to join our main event from the Phoenix Supercross. Jeff Emig, Hughes, and Bradshaw in the top 3 position. Bradshaw number 10 in our picture right now. Running very smooth, David Bailey.
Well, he had some problems with the bike bogging just a little bit, he said. It was kind of dying out before the triples. Actually, a lot of riders were having that trouble in L.A., and he said he's just been over the bars too many times to take those chances, and it looks like he's got the kinks worked out here tonight. Riding a lot more relaxed.
The scene is setting for a great semifinal round with guys like Henry.
Perhaps Huffman, too.
And Huffman, number 17, Damon Huffman, along with Dowd and Mike Brown.
You see right here, Bradshaw working through that sandy corner. Staying pretty close to Ryan, and they're not losing much time to the leader right here, number 3, Emig.
Jeff Emig with a 6th place in the first round and a 14th, an awful time in the second round of the Los Angeles Coliseum. He's really looking to redeem himself here tonight.
Well, he's doing good so far. There's a look at John Dowd. Just behind this battle for the qualifying position to go straight to the main. Dowd's got a little ways to go to catch up to Larry Ward.
He run the match there with number 21, Michael Brown, for 5th place, but they're quite a ways away, as you mentioned, David. Daddy, Dave, John Dowd. Soon to be. Don't want to rush things.
Through the whoops. This is where I expect Dowd to be strong. I think it's getting a little bit easier for everybody. The soil is tearing up so much. Makes it a little tough because they get rutted out in there, but they're also able to get over the tops. Those things are getting worn down more and more each lap.
Were you surprised everybody got through turn 2 there so cleanly, David?
Yeah, I was. Earlier today in some of the preliminary qualifiers, there was a pile up there every single time, but I think perhaps it's a little bit more experience from these guys we're watching right now that get through there cleaner.
Henry, the competitor he is already back up to 9th.
Now he's going to use a lot of energy.
There's our leader, number 3, Emig. Number 9, Hughes in 2nd, and Bradshaw in 3rd, with Larry Ward in 4th.
Bradshaw keeping it close. Look how he jumps into the whoop section right there. Anytime you can jump in and miss 3 or 4 of those, you really save a lot of energy.
Last lap, white flag for number 3, Jeff Emig. Emig has taken a 3rd in the heat qualifying, a 2nd in the qualifying round last week. This could be his first win as Bradshaw trying to get closer to the 2nd spot with Ryan Hughes. Hughes having a difficult start on this season, but Bradshaw very energetic coming through the rhythm section.
I think both these guys, and also
Bradshaw had some problems.
Yeah, a little mistake there. I don't think it's going to cost him much, other than just being able to keep the pressure on Ryan. But it looks like he'll be able to lock down 3rd. And I was starting to mention that Ryan and Bradshaw both, and also Albertine. These guys are riders you expect to see give it 110% all the time, and that's why I think they crash a little bit more. See, they go down in flames, but it doesn't always work out for the best outcome.
All or nothing at all, right?
That's what they do.
Jeff Emig riding easy past the checkered flag, acknowledging the fans, winning our 2nd qualifying heat. Hughes, Bradshaw, and Ward will go to the main event. Guys like Dowd, Lewis, Huffman, and Henry have to go to the semifinals. Words from our winner next.
Out of the shadows come 3 incredible motorcycles. Each one takes the look of a custom to a beautiful new place. The new Honda Shadow Spirit 1100, the new Shadow Ace Tourer, and the Shadow American Classic Edition. It's always cooler in the shadows.
Hi, Chuck. How's business?
Okay.
Hey, what's on your screen?
QuickBooks accounting software from the makers of Quicken.
Yeah, I really don't have time to learn new software.
If you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. Answer a few questions and it tailors itself to your business. Create invoices like these. It has accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll and inventory, and over 60 customizable reports that put you in control.
I'm going to try it.
Nothing to lose.
Call 1-800-344-8300.
Take everything you ever knew about cruiser motorcycles, everything you ever learned from your older brother, your friends, biker movies, and throw it out. Because the Marauder is a cruiser like no other, one only a high-performance company could have built. The Suzuki Marauder. It's time to move on.
Here's the deal, Jeremy. People take too long with their acceptance speech. I want to thank Mom, I want to thank Daddy. You know, I want to go take a nap. That's where you come in. 5 seconds left, we pop you out of the penalty box. 5, 4, 3, 2. Uh-oh, here comes Jeremy Roenick. I better finish my speech. Boom. Jeremy's spoken. Okay? Put the biscuit in the basket.
The ESPYs with Hootie and the Blowfish, Lisa Leslie, and Carrie Strug. February 10th at 7:30, presented by General Motors and No Fear.
Good, good. Okay, stop. Jeremy, stop. Jeremy!
Jeff Emig, the winner of our second qualifying round. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. These 4 riders headed toward the main event. And let's go to Marty Reed right now with the winner of our second qualifier.
Well, before tonight's action started, Jeff Emig told me, he said, hey, you know, I had a terrible race at Los Angeles, a lot of contact, and the best way to get around that was to get a great start, and you certainly did.
Yeah, I really focused on the start, and, you know, all the sand in the first turn makes it pretty tough.
As far as competition, every time we talk about it now, it used to be last year it was just 2 guys. You had a chance to beat Jeremy, but tonight there's literally 10 guys that have a shot at this championship.
Yeah, that's the way that's been all year. At Kawasaki, we weren't too happy with our first 2 finishes, and so we got together this week and we worked real hard on our suspension and all that. So I'm pretty happy with my bike. I think the thing's working awesome. Bridgestone tires, Shift Racing, Arnett goggles, Troy Lee Designs, Alpine Stars, Shoei helmets. All those guys are really helping out. And just like Steve said, you know, you fans are great tonight. Man, we appreciate you having everybody out here. It's just awesome having everybody here.
Will you and Jeremy Albrecht, your mechanic, make any changes for the main?
Well, I'll probably change the jersey and I'll change goggles.
And if you were making any others, you wouldn't tell me anyway, right?
No, I wouldn't. But a lot of people know our team manager, Roy Turner, is going to be leaving us here in a couple of weeks, and I'd like to thank him right now. In case this is the only chance I get up on the podium, I'd like to thank him, you know, for helping me win a 250 championship last year, and I hope I can win these last 2 races for him.
Jeff Emig, heat winner in number 2.
That was a wonderful mention of Roy Turner, who has taken a new job. Will be leaving Kawasaki for Rock Shocks mountain bike suspensions. He'll coordinate that company's specialty with the various bike manufacturers and their race teams, and we wish him as well a very good time of it, as he's been an immense help to the media in covering that Kawasaki team. We've got all kinds of action left from Sun Devil Stadium. Stay tuned.
You do the math.
Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium. Art Ekman and David Bailey, round 3 of the 97 Supercross season. To the floor of the stadium we go. Marty Reed's got tonight's Dunlop Track Fact.
Guys, believe it or not, it has started to rain here in Sun Devil Stadium, and if it rains at this pace, it won't be bad for track conditions, but look what it does to your goggles. It gets wet, and then if you get some dust thrown onto your goggles, what's going to happen is it turns into spots of mud. This could be really difficult to see tonight.
The rain pelting down, David Bailey. What would it do to the texture of this soil if this rain gets any worse?
Well, you can see right there, it almost looks like snow. It's coming down really slow. If that gets heavier, it'll be a problem. If it stays like this, I think the soil will be okay. But like Marty said, vision is going to be the #1 problem.
30-second board is up, and we're almost set to go now. 5 riders out of the semifinal rounds. Each semifinal round transferred directly to the main event. And, of course, no money if you don't make the main event. And no one likes to go to the last chance qualifier, as Damon Bradshaw found out in last week's round.
Well, you get plenty of time to dial in your bike. However, I don't think you want to spend that much time out there. It's good luck at LaRocco. Hopefully you can get a better start this time, since vision is going to be such a problem.
Albertine, LaRocco, Kudrowski, Button, Lewis, Kalos, Yezik, all kinds of riders in this one. And it is Greg Albertine, number 8, getting the whole shot, with Mike Kudrowski in second place, Jimmy Button, number 18, in third. That is remarkable. LaRocco is next after Jimmy Button. Button, who has a separated cartilage in his rib cage, is just out there trying to qualify, getting into the main event for points and money.
If he can stay where he is, he'll be okay, but he's got a lot of pressure from Lewis. David Pingree, number 57, you can see just right there in the green, he'd be riding the 125s.
Button crashing hard in practice, also crashed in the second round in Los Angeles. And he's just trying to stay afloat until he can heal up. Kudrowski 100. Number 5 is Mike LaRocco.
As this track gets chewed up, and if it does get a little slick here and there, that's going to get it chewed up even more. That's where LaRocco will really shine. The rougher the track, the better.
Kyle Lewis is giving Button pressure, but so far has been unable to conquer him. Right now, our leader with a great lead is Greg Albertine.
You can see as LaRocco went around that corner behind Kudrowski, got a face full of sand.
Ian Harrison, Albertine's mechanic, looking on with anticipation. What do you do when your marker is on the pit board and it starts raining harder?
You better just be out front, not need to know what he's writing down. This is good for LaRocco. I mean, for Albertine, this is where he crashed in practice, right here off this triple. Got a little offline, hit a hay bale, went over the bars. As I pointed out a little earlier in the heat race, he didn't get to ride much in the second practice session, so this may not be such a bad thing. Get out there and loosen up.
Jimmy Button and Kyle Lewis battling out for the bubble spot right now. Well, actually, they're 4th and 5th, so both would go to the main event if they can hold this position.
It is getting a little slick. Kyle Lewis, their number 16, had the front end washout. Any place you see the dirt, it's more white in color, a little shiny. That's going to be slippery, and these guys will avoid it if they can.
We're going to have a good battle for the final transfer spot as David Pingree is starting to make a move up on the 4th and 5th positions. Albertine, Kudrowski, LaRocco, Button, and Lewis are top 5. But can they hold on to go to the main event? LaRocco picking up space on Kudrowski in the battle for second place as we watch Jimmy Button trying to hold on to 4th.
Pretty courageous ride for Button. He looks good right now. Everyone's doing pretty much the same thing out there on the track. The pace is, these guys separate out, and as long as they're in a qualifying position, I don't think you'll see any major changes except for that final transfer spot.
Jimmy Button coming back last year after a season in Europe. Nice avoiding contact right there. Kyle Lewis and Jimmy Button.
Lewis has had a couple of opportunities like that, and he's been just a little polite. I think he really wants that spot bad enough towards the later stage of this race. He'll run in there and do some damage.
Kyle Lewis warming up for his round as he goes over to Japan after a 10th and a 17th in the first 2 rounds. Lewis looks like he's going to make the move. He just can't quite do it. Button holding on with great courage and determination.
It was about the same thing there the last lap. This time Button here and Lewis coming up the inside didn't leave quite as much room. Otherwise, Lewis would have made that pass.
Button slipping a little bit in that sand, lost the front end. Can Lewis take advantage of it this time on the triple? Lewis moves into 4th position.
That's what happens no matter what you do. If you can't get over that double, you can't make that triple.
Now, Button's big problem is right behind him right now. If he stays there, he's qualified for the main. But David Pingree is not that far behind him.
Well, I would hate to get bumped by a guy that's going to be riding the 125 for half the season. Jumps on a 250 and takes you out of that qualifying spot.
Can Button hold on? We'll find out when we come back.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
The blonder.
Hi. Could you please tell me about those plates?
They're round. They're fragile?
I guess I'll take them.
Over there.
Customer service. Customer service.
Next. This is out of stock.
Congratulations to the 600 people who just got in on this beautiful
Looking for a better way to shop? Look no further than the Home Shopping Network. We have what you want.
Next.
When there's action on the beach, the lifeguards call for the action heroes.
physical training is certainly important.
Shoot, I'm a great swimmer.
But you need to have good equipment as well.
We got Ford Rangers.
One of the best pieces of equipment we have.
I like working with the most handsome men in the world.
I really love the Ford Ranger.
They look good, they make us look good.
But right now, I gotta watch the water.
These Ford Rangers come in, they get me there quicker than anything else.
They're really cool.
ESPN News? Yeah, great. Great timing, guys. Played for 13 years and I retire, and now you're coming out with this sports news channel? Oh, this is great. All these scores and highlights are really going to help my career. Look at me now. Gardening. Thanks from the bottom of my heart. No, really, truly, thanks. Just appreciate it. Idiots. Ridiculous. Morons. You guys want to kick my dog while you're here?
Welcome back to our first semifinal round as 5 more riders trying to qualify for our main event here tonight in Phoenix, Arizona. There we have Jimmy Button behind Kyle Lewis in the 4th and 5th positions. 5 riders will make it to the main event.
One more lap for Button if he can just hold him off. Pingree's close enough.
Final lap, way out in front. Albertine of Team Suzuki, number 8.
Good ride for Albertine.
Winning the first round, going down early in the second round, coming from 19th to 8th position. A wonderful ride considering he lost his clutch for 15 laps. Albertine acknowledging to the crowd. It's Kedrowski, number 100, behind him. But Kedrowski not in second place. Albertine taking the checkered flag. Kedrowski, Larocco, Lewis, Button across the finish line jump. The rain is pelting down. This definitely might change conditions as we look forward to the main event. Next race on ESPN2 comes from the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. Official results, and Marty visits with our winner when we get back.
Six cylinders, 6 carbs, 2 bags, 1 windshield. It's a good thing we got 50 states. The new Valkyrie Tour. America's the boulevard it was born to cruise. NCAA basketball on ESPN2.
I keep thinking about those hunters we surprised today.
Oh, did you see the looks on their faces when they ran for their ATVs?
Yeah. That one guy had a Suzuki King Quad. Did you see it take off up that hill and into the woods? I didn't even bother going after it.
Oh, yeah, them Suzuki's got a lock in front differential, independent suspension. You can't touch them.
I bet that other guy wishes he'd had a King Quad.
Oh, yeah, that guy was delicious.
The Suzuki King Quad. More features than your friend's ATV.
Welcome back as we look at the official results now from our semifinal round. Greg Albertine, Mike Kedrowski, Mike Larocco, Kyle Lewis, and Jimmy Button on their way. Jimmy Button holding on with a gallant try. Let's go down to Marty Reed now, who's with Greg Albertine.
Well, the rain did not seem to have an effect on Greg Albertine. Good ride there, but how much of an effect has it had on the track?
Well, actually, not much at all. You know, the track is a little bit sandy, so I think a little bit of rain will do it good. You know, just keep the powder dust down a little bit.
Now, most of the fans here don't know that earlier today on the triple, you went down. Did that play on your mind at all in that first heat race? Because you said you were awful.
Well, I was just a little bit tense riding out there. I got a bit of arm pump up and in practice made a little stupid mistake and ended up crashing on the triple. But my Suzuki's running great and I'm feeling good out there and hopefully I can do the same in the main.
Well, you are anything but awful here in the semi. Congratulations, good run. Here's your winner in semi number 1.
Thank you, Marty. After 2 consecutive rounds with longer lap times at the Los Angeles Coliseum, David Bailey, looking at this week's Suzuki track map, we have a tighter track with lots of roost in the corners if it doesn't rain too much.
Quite a bit tighter and also quite a bit shorter, about 15 seconds per lap shorter, so that main event's going to go by quick. A long start with a sandy first corner, so I would expect to see some trouble there in the main events. The usual triples on both sides of the racetrack. A little tougher at the top of your screen where you got to clear that double before you get to the triple. And the long loop section right before the finish gives a great opportunity for a last-ditch effort.
John Dowd, number 14 in this talent-packed second semifinal round. He'll be joined by Michael Brown, Damon Huffman, Doug Henry, the winner of the last round, Ryan Huffman, Lance Smell, Jeff Matasevich, Michael Chamberlain. Just running down the list of our second qualifying semifinal.
There's a look at Huffman right there. He was in a great position in the heat race, and Doug Henry came jumping right into him and took them both out of that. So a little frustration there.
Yeah, David. Huffman coming back to where I'd expect him to be, around 4th in LA, and still not as smooth as you'd expect. But coming off that flu bug, he says he's 100% here tonight.
There's a few riders, or a few people actually talking about the riders in practice, and one of the guys that really stood out was Damon Huffman. He looked good out here, but the heat race didn't go the way he wanted. He was in a good position. We'll see if he can do better here.
Don't forget, a winner out of the semifinal round doesn't mean they don't have a chance to win the main event, as Albertine proved in the opening round of the Supercross year. Doug Henry, number 20, as you'd expect. Number 21, Michael Brown. Number 17, Damon Huffman. John Dowd, number 14. Kawasaki going into the hay bales, holding up things out of that second turn, but out in front we see Doug Henry, where you'd expect him to see. Huffman's getting the challenge from Brown, 21 for second place. Huffman in second.
Mike Brown getting a good line over that double jump, moves around in front of Huffman. Huffman unable to do the triple there. He's going to lose a little bit more time in the leaders. Right now, Henry's got pretty clear sailing unless Mike Brown's got a little something extra under the hood.
Well, one of the grand old names, Jeff Matasevich, was the Kawasaki bike that was down in turn 2 and is in last place. He'll have to go to the last chance qualifier, probably, as we see Dowd taking the corner. He's in 4th place now. Pretty well spread out equally. Henry, Brown, Huffman. And then we've got Dowd. And then Tide Birdwell, number 89 out of Oregon.
Pete Steinbrecher there wearing a bow tie.
Let's go down to Marty.
Yeah, guys, the bow tie has real special significance for Pete. He's a Green Bay Packer fan, and of course his rider is a New England Patriots fan, so they've been having a lot of fun with the Super Bowl this year.
Dowd having some problems in 4th place is now getting the challenge from Birdwell out of the state of Oregon. But here's our leader, Doug Henry.
I think Pete's trying to tell him just to look forward, don't worry about what's going on behind him. He's giving him a lap time right there to try to beat that next time around. 53.7 seconds, a little quicker than they were in practice.
Mike Brown just trying to make an impression before he goes to Europe to have a full season over there in the World Grand Prix Motocross Series.
He'd make a real impression if he moved around Henry right here, the series leader.
Brown, of course, doing a good job at Charlotte. Winning at Las Vegas and Charlotte back in '95. Second in points in the 125 East that year. Had some injuries, some hard luck, and is fighting to get back into the mainstream. Here's Henry. Brown, Huffman, Dowd, and Birdwell are top 5. They're in position right now to qualify for the main event.
Brown staying very close to Henry. He's going to learn a lot. Henry's very innovative out there on the racetrack. Got good lines. He did a lot of different things in practice. Some of the other riders showing that confidence he showed back in late '95 before he got hurt.
First and second, about a 6-second lead on Huffman in 3rd right now. And Dowd is back another 3 seconds. Oh, Henry in 1st place, being challenged by Brown. Will he win it? We'll find out in a moment.
It's over 8 feet long from one end to the other. And it makes you look for the farthest distance between 2 points. The new Valkyrie Tour. America's the boulevard it was born to cruise.
Get ready for the thrill of your life. AMA Supercross live. A Saturday night you'll never forget. AMA Supercross live. The guts and the glory of the best riders in the world. AMA Supercross live. Feel the rush of the most extreme sport on the planet live. AMA Supercross. The 1997 flight to the finish. Live it live.
Now the bike you want equals big time bucks, correct? Incorrect. Do the math. During Suzuki Fest 97, get up to $500 in Suzuki accessories free with a selected Suzuki. Like the awesome GSX-R 1100. You also get free accessories with the Katana 600 and 750 and the RF 900R. And choose from financing options like 0 down and 9.9% APR on selected models. But hurry, Suzuki Fest won't last. So you plus Suzuki equals... Oh, come on, add it up.
Welcome back. We're getting close to filling out the field tonight from Phoenix, Arizona. Doug Henry here in the second semifinal round is our leader. He's got a huge lead as we take a look at the top 5. Right now, they're in position to transfer in the main event. All the other ones go to the LCQ for a chance at only 2 spots at the gate.
Doug Henry leaping into the whoop section that time. Keeping good momentum everywhere, and Brown is still right there, and they're pulling away from Huffman. So these guys got a great pace going, a good ride for Brown.
Doug Henry was such a great start on the Supercross season. Everybody thought, oh, a big surprise. Second place, great performance in the first round, until they saw the bigger surprise with the win in the second round. Damon Huffman in third place, as we mentioned earlier, coming off the flu bug. Still doesn't look like he has his strength back totally.
Well, it never looked real great when you have to go to the semi, but it wasn't really his fault. He just kind of got caught up with Doug Henry in a weird type of crash, and I think last week he wasn't able to ride to his full potential because he had the flu. With a 4th place finish, you got to expect that if he's a little healthier, he would do better.
2-time 125 Western champion in 1995 in the 125s. He had 6 straight victories. White flag is out. This is the final lap. Damon Huffman looking strong in third.
This is the kind of the part of the race where you just learn. He knows it's not going to be a real big deal for him to pull out all the stops and try to catch Brown this last lap. Just try to learn from the track, learn where the slippery spots are, and maybe try to make some tire choices when you go back to the pits for the main event.
Our leader, Doug Henry. A 4-second lead on Mike Brown in second. Damon Huffman in third. And then we go back about 7 seconds before number 14, John Dowd, in fourth.
Even if it's a semi, it still feels good to win a race. It's a great feeling to cross that finish line first with the kind of talent that's in the semi, so I don't think it's going to bug Doug Henry too much. Remember, Albertine won the first round after going to the semi.
Doug Henry, the winner of our second semifinal round, and Brown will be second. The guy that's got to be happy right now is Ty Birdwell from Warrington, Oregon, making his first main event of the season in 5th place. We'll be back with some words from Doug Henry as Marty Reed will be talking with him when we return. Got to hand it to the fans here at Sun Devil Stadium. The rain came down. They hung onto their seats. This great action as we see from the Suzuki rundown. Doug Henry, Mike Brown, Damon Huffman, John Dowd, and Ty Birdwell making it to the main event after the second semifinal is over. Let's go to Marty.
Down here with a very happy Doug Henry, especially after the first heat when you didn't have such a good corner. In fact, it was right there in front of us.
No, the first heat, I didn't get off to a great start, and I was trying to make up time really quick. And I guess I was riding a little bit over my head.
Well, you had no trouble here, but I want to show everybody this helmet. It's a 2-tone helmet, one side for the Packers, one side for the New England Patriots. And now, tell me the story on this.
Well, my mechanic's from Wisconsin, and I'm from New England, and we got a little bet going. This is his side. It's got Pete. It's got his name on it. New England side's got my name on it. And whoever wins the Super Bowl gets to keep the helmet.
Well, you had a great ride. We'll see you in the main.
All right, thanks.
Another terrific Troy Lee design, huh?
He keeps coming up with them. He had lights on Jeremy's helmet, then the gold with the $100 bills, and then he's got a fin on some of them, looked like in the Rocketeer, and now this.
Okay, the Supercross is very likely coming to an arena near you, so check it out. Next we go to the Seattle Kingdome. on February 1st before heading to Indianapolis. Then we go south to Atlanta, Daytona before Minneapolis, Houston, Orlando, and St. Louis. Then over to Pontiac, Michigan, east to Charlotte, over to Dallas, and then finishing up the season in Las Vegas, where we'll not only have an outstanding final showdown for the 250s, but also an East-West 125 shootout where both regions will come together for a lot of added extra bucks. The future superstars, the 125 main, coming up next.
At Norm's, there's always something special. Take our delicious T-bone steak. Tender and juicy, served with 2 fresh eggs, hash browns, and toast and jelly. It's only $5.99 round the clock 7 days a week. And here's a super weekday lunch. Norm's Soup of the Day and a crisp green salad served with your choice of half a sandwich, all for only $2.99. You'll find Norm's Family Restaurant on Harbor Boulevard at Victoria in Costa Mesa. Stop by today.
Are you spending more time battling the trimmer line than you are battling weeds? Then it's time to take back control of your yard. Presenting the powerful Weed Wizard and Weed Wizard 2. The Weed Wizard is easy to install and fits all gas trimmers. No more line to feed. Just twist on and lock in place. It's that easy. No job is too big. No weed is too tall. Don't be fooled by cheap imitations. Buy the original. Weed Wizard is available at lawn and garden retailers everywhere.
For your nearest retailer, call 1-800-257-5700.
Who were the year's best athletes? What was the play of the year? Most outrageous play of the year? You tell us. Tune into SportsCenter, and we'll show you the best sports moments of 1996. We'll give you a number to call to cast your vote for the athlete or performance you feel deserves a special Fans Choice ESPY. Watch SportsCenter or vote on ESPN Net Sports Zone for the 1997 ESPY Awards. Only on ESPN.
AMA Supercross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. Quality training for the motorcycle industry.
Our Honda flashback takes us back to 1992 at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. One of the greatest rivalries of the early 90s was Jeff Stanton versus Damon Bradshaw. These riders battling side by side all year long, but at this point in the series, it was Damon Bradshaw with a commanding lead in the title. But his aggressive riding style resulted in a horrifying crash over one of the triples as Bale narrowly missed his motorcycle, inheriting second place. Bradshaw, who had dominated the series up to this point, would score no points. In retrospect, a devastating blow, eventually costing him the title. He'd walk away, but Jeff Stanton walked away with the race win, followed by his teammate Jean-Michel Bale.
Exciting action from the past out of Indianapolis. We will be back in Indianapolis on the 15th of February. Hope you can join us at that time. And while we were away, Jeff Matasevich and Mike Chamberlain finished 1 and 2 in the LCQ, filling in the final 2 positions at the 250 gate. 20 riders in all. And we go to Kevin Windham, the defending champion, with the #1 plate.
It's hard to believe that this guy has been so dominant and looks so smooth and flawless, making no mistakes, is not leading the series right now.
Take a look at the Suzuki starting grid. Riley Raynard, of course, has looked very strong, except for a little arm pump to finish the races. Michael Brandis looked good in the qualifying heats. So did Pedro Gonzalez for the first time this year. 22 riders in all at the gate in the 125s now as they take 4 out of the last chance qualifier for that 22-rider field.
Track's starting to change just a little bit. The rain lightening up quite a bit. All it really did was just help hold this dirt together a little bit better. Some of those powder berms, all that dust kicking up, is a little bit more loam now, and it's going to make these lap times a little quicker.
Kevin Windham, who won, dominating the first round in Los Angeles, finishing in 8th in the second race at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Let's go down to the floor of this fine facility, and Marty Reed.
Art, you want to talk about domination by Kevin Windham. Take a look at this statistic. Windham in his heat race was 9 seconds quicker overall than Casey Johnson in winning heat #2. That's over a second a lap, and David, you more than anybody can appreciate that.
Well, you figure if you get the whole shot and have a pretty big lead, it better be more than 9 seconds, which is a great big lead, or else this guy's going to catch you. And if he gets a good start, just hook on to the rear fender, and hopefully he can stay with him till the end.
A record attendance here in Phoenix, 63,565 came to Sun Devil Stadium tonight to see Supercross action. This is the 125 main event. 15 laps of action. Last week's winner, number 28, Brian Deegan. Kenny Watson is mechanic now. It's Wyndham, Casey Johnson, Nathan Ramsey, Michael Brandes, Pedro Gonzalez, Craig Decker, Brian Deegan, Robbie Raynard, Stefan Roncada from France, Grayson Goodman, Christopher Wheeler, and David Villemin, also from France. A terrific field of 125 riders ready to go here in round 3 at Sun Devil Stadium.
Raynard and Wyndham right there lined up just next to each other. Raynard on the inside. If they get to the corner at the same time, Raynard will have an advantage.
The gate can drop anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds from now as they start to rev the machines, and we are underway. Wyndham with a good point, but on the inside, Wyndham, he got around the block. Amazing. Kevin Wyndham got around Jeffrey Pastana, 173. Not too many other people got out of that first and second turn.
Casey Johnson and Grayson Goodman hooked up in that. Unfortunate for Casey Johnson, he won his heat. Also a miserable start for Raynard.
Roncada is in second place. He took second in the World Supercross 125s in Europe. Roncada racing for Honda of Troy.
Also a pretty good start for Brandes right there. He's able to get over that double.
I was impressed with Brandes in the qualifying rounds, weren't you?
He looks better every time he gets out there on the racetrack, gaining more and more experience each time, right, with these U.S. riders.
Pastana is still in 4th, and the real battle is right here for second place. Roncada and Brandes.
Well, there's a sense of urgency right now to really push the pace. Maybe these guys can hook up, push each other, and try to stay close to Wyndham. Otherwise, he'll be gone. And right now, they're still pretty close.
Pedro Gonzalez has now moved in front of a teammate and another rider for 4th place. Pedro Gonzalez, number 35.
You see Wyndham already going the other way, heading towards the triple.
There's Pedro out of Monterrey, Mexico. Kawasaki of Mexico took a 7th in the first round, a 15th in the second round at the Los Angeles Coliseum. And as you can imagine, in Los Angeles, a very popular rider. Here comes Wyndham and Roncada. Roncada, number 112. Looks like he's off to his best performance of the season.
Very close to Wyndham right here. Just behind Wyndham, you get a glimpse of Roncada. There he is. He's pulled away from Brandes and started to apply the pressure to Wyndham.
Wyndham, Roncada, Brandes, and Gonzalez, and then Pastana. Our top 5s. We go into that sandy section.
Well, this will be new for Wyndham. Probably hasn't had too many opportunities to ride with Roncada. Has no idea what to expect from this kid if he gets close enough to get in there and bump him.
In Europe, David, we saw Roncada and Villemin square off in almost every race. Roncada was more like the Ryan Hughes. The all-out would go down type of effect or win the race. Whereas Villemin had a little bit more technique, a little smoother ride than Roncada.
Well, Roncada doesn't have a whole lot to lose here. He won't be competing for the entire series, I don't believe. And if he has a bad race, so what? He's going to give it all he's got. And right now, he is, and he's pretty close to the leader.
First and second place have a 7-second lead on Michael Brandes, number 33, from Menifee, California, racing for Chaparral. And, of course, he's got his hands full with Pedro Gonzalez behind him, number 35.
Gonzalez going high in that berm to try to get a slingshot off the corner. That's one of the more slippery spots. In fact, it's the only slippery place on the racetrack.
Pedro Gonzalez's father owning a bike shop in Monterrey, Mexico. He sold his pickup. He sold about everything he had to come to the United States that first year to participate in the Dallas Supercross, if I remember correctly. Then he got some sponsors after his Dallas performance and was able to stay in America running this 125 series.
Very smooth rider, Gonzalez. I've seen him in some arena crosses where everything's really tight and you have to be precise, and he's phenomenal. Great rider. I'd like to see him on a 250. I think he'd be really good on that size bike.
These two riders battle for third. The battle for first is still not given away to Wyndham. Roncada hanging right with him.
Yeah, there he goes, Wyndham and Roncada at the bottom of your screen through the first corner, so you can see how far of a lead they have right here over Brandes. Roncada's actually closed up on Wyndham. Brandes here enjoys a little more breathing room this lap than the previous over Gonzalez.
Let's go down to Marty.
Sean, your man is doing a heck of a job staying with Wyndham.
Yeah, he's got a good pace going right now, and he got out to a good start. He had bad luck in his heat race at the start. Mostly he's just out here to get warmed up for the East Coast Series and get used to racing with these guys. This is only his second race in the U.S., and I think right now he's going to turn some heads in the East Coast Series.
Well, he's just coming by us right now, and he is within, it's half a second.
Yeah, he's pretty close. We didn't really talk about so much racing with these guys because I know Kevin's out for points, and I'm not sure what their situation is. Right now, he's just going out for the experience, and if he can pull off a win, that would be great. That would be the ultimate experience, I guess.
Art, I'd say this is some great experience.
Oh, his first race in America. He started in 4th, held on to 4th, and then ended up in 6th position. This would be quite an accomplishment, David Bailey. Roncada holding with the very quick Kevin Wyndham.
Even if he just stays where he is, Art, this is a phenomenal performance from a kid we haven't seen a whole lot of, keeping with the newest phenomenon, Kevin Wyndham, who doesn't ever seem to make a mistake until that wild race last weekend, but an incredible ride so far, and you can see behind him there's no one in sight, so it's a two-way battle here. He can drop it and still finish second.
What a battle! Roncada just not giving in to the aura of Kevin Wyndham. He tries to block him in the corner and can't quite as Wyndham slips the screen.
He's got a good line here, though. He's going to get the drive off that corner. Wyndham is so good on a flat corner. If he wasn't, Roncada would have made that pass.
Going into the season, we thought Kevin Wyndham, who won 6 races last year and took the 125 Western Crown, was going to run away with this cleanly. But after the second round, you started itching your head a little bit. Now Roncada, an Eastern rider who's put his name, I think, up there with the contenders in the East before the season starts for the East.
I know Wyndham is probably just thinking, okay, if I don't make any mistakes, any major ones, and hold my line, this kid ain't going to find a way around me. But how long is he going to stay back there? Wyndham hasn't had that much pressure from anyone for more than about 6 or 7 laps.
Robbie Raynard didn't have the best start in the world, but he's moving up to challenge Gonzalez for 4th as we take a look at Kevin Wyndham. Kevin Wyndham has got his hands full as he goes over the jump on the finish line. Let's go below to Marty to see what's going on down there.
I'm down here with Ali Seymour, and your boy has his hands full right now.
Yeah, that guy's riding a good race, and Kevin's making a few mistakes. He's putting a little pressure on him, but he can hang.
Did you expect this?
No, I haven't really watched a guy ride before, but he seems to be doing a pretty good job, so we'll see what happens. We got about 8 laps left.
This is getting real exciting, guys.
As Kevin Wyndham starts to pull a little lead, let's go back a little bit now to 3rd place. Brandis, number 33, is getting a heck of a challenge for 24. Look at Robbie Raynard, just cleanly sweeps by him now on the triple.
I talked a little earlier, I was watching one of the heat races with Raynard, and he got a terrible start, worked his way all the way into a great position. And I mentioned I thought he was better at riding from behind. He has nothing to lose, and he doesn't worry about being nervous. He doesn't protect anything. He just goes for it. Right now, almost last to 3rd is a great ride at this point in the race.
Raynard, and then also Pedro Gonzalez taking advantage of the boom. Number 35 going right by Brandis then too. Oh, what action from our 125 support race to an expected outstanding 250 20 laps coming up. So, who will finally make it to the 125 podium? We'll get to that answer when we get back.
Dream about means serious cash, right? Wrong, people. Do the math. During Suzuki Fest 97, get up to $500 in Suzuki accessories free when you buy a selected Suzuki. Like the muscle-bound Intruder 1400. You'll also get free accessories with the Intruder 800 and the Savage 650. And choose from finance options like 0 down and 9.9% APR on selected models. But hurry, Suzuki Fest won't last. So you and Suzuki means, well, you do the math.
Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, right side out of Phoenix, as we are at round 3, 125 final action. This is our leader, Ali Seymour, putting the board out for Kevin Wyndham. Number 1, the defending champion, Roncada, has dropped off the pace a little bit, but is still holding on to a solid 2nd.
Well, he's got to be pretty happy just to be where he is and just to have a look at Wyndham. No one really ever does unless he gets a terrible start.
It's only a 1.5 seconds behind him as Wyndham goes through the sand area in turn 2.
It fluctuates a little depending on where they are on the racetrack, and if one rider makes a little mistake, one will open it up and it'll close back up. Right now, Roncada, I don't have any reason to believe that he's fading. He's still very close.
Going over the triples, Roncada right behind number 1, Kevin Windham now. Just one of the nicest young men. Very pleasant smile, speaks extremely good English. He's been to the United States a couple of times before coming over for racing. As we take a look at the Honda stopwatch. We'll check out the lap times.
What you may see start to happen towards the later part of this race is the confidence and the experience of Windham and his flawless riding is he'll just make fewer mistakes. The pace of Roncada will be there, but one little mistake here, one little mistake there, and none from Windham will let him open up that gap, and it is starting to get a little bit bigger right now.
I think the only question right now is, can Robbie Reynard catch Roncada in second place? He's got a long way to go, but the 3 riders now are starting to separate out as Brandis is in 4th. We see Kevin Windham and the Honda stopwatch coming down. Keeney has moved into 5th in this race.
Windham is just like clockwork. Every lap, the same line. He'll jump over this bump, square this corner, make it over the double, no problem. Closing in on a lap here.
He's got the lapper in front of him, 55.2.
Pretty quick. About what they were running in practice. And he'll be doing those lap times every lap.
Wheeler is out. Or Jeff Willow, rather, number 45.
And he got tangled up in that whoop section.
Jeff Willow, a 14th and a 20th in the first 2 rounds. For Team Nolene, having his problems again. Number 33 is Brandis.
Brandis looked good in the beginning, and he's still in a pretty good spot, but really lost a lot of time in the top 3 positions. He's probably dropped about, I'd say about 10 seconds behind Reynard, who not too long ago just slid past him.
Right now, they're so spread out as Roncada drops off the pace in second. Robbie Reynard is a good 5 seconds behind Roncada.
Looked like Brandis was looking down at his front wheel at one point. He could be having a problem. That happened to Ryan Hughes last week. He got something stuck in his front brake, so it's hard to tell, but he definitely dropped off the pace.
Right now, the young man out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, just is cruising now with a nice smooth texture, no pressure. Looks like another dominating win.
It does so far. Tracks get more torn up each lap, and they'll start encountering lap riders. That could change. They'll have to ride smart, but Roncada he's got to be happy with this. Even if he finishes second and this far behind Windham, he's got to be really proud of this ride. He's just stepped a little closer to a victory.
Roncada 7 seconds behind our leader as Decker now moving into 7th place after a very poor start.
And there was a little mistake by Roncada. That's the kind of stuff that will give Windham that bigger lead. Windham will turn 55-second lap times until he runs out of gas, probably. So that's why he's starting to open it up now. Those little mistakes really cost you. Some lapped riders here for Roncada to work his way through.
Robbie Reynard is now moved within 6 seconds of Roncada in 3rd place. So some of the lappers and Roncada's mistakes have him slowing down a bit. Number 112, he could be getting tired. Maybe a little arm pump under the pressure. Very young rider from France.
Well, Reynard is great from coming from behind. As I already pointed out, you don't have much pressure, and it's funny to see that a rider can get the whole shot and end up 3rd or 4th, and then take off nearly last and end up 3rd or 4th. It just has something to do with, I think, where you subconsciously feel like you deserve to be, and Reynard is definitely making a push to the front. He has enough time to catch Roncada.
Right now, Kevin Windham with a dominating lead as we go back to 3rd place, number 24, Robbie Reynard. The run for the 125 checkers is on. We'll be back in a moment for the conclusion of this 125 main event.
1/900 pro race, up to the minute race results now.
Bar to bars, they go over the triple. And Pingree right on his tail, tries to box him out, does so. Kevin Windham. Whoa!
You call 1/900 pro race. Bradshaw coming up now to challenge Doug Henry.
Oh, Pingree goes down with James Dobb.
1/900 pro race is absolutely the best.
Oh, what a bar-to-bar battle we've got going.
1/900 pro race, except no substitute.
Looking for a way to lose fat? Forget diets. To lose fat permanently, you need to build muscle. And that's just what the new Soloflex rocket helps you do. Rocket is the safest, easiest strength training tool in the world. You don't need to know a lot about strength training. You don't have to change the machine, and you don't have to work with heavy weights. But there is nothing that will give you fat losses fast or fat losses lasting.
On sale now. Call now for your free brochure.
The white flag is waving as we return to the 125 main event. Kevin Windham, so close now, only one lap away from winning his second out of 3 races so far this year.
Heel clicker. I think we're going to see a lot of those this year. We already have.
Windham, Roncada, Raynard, Brandis, and Keeney are top 5 right now.
Here comes another, the triple on the other side.
Lots of flash bulbs popping.
That one's just a little bit too hard to jump.
The lapper down there too.
Yeah, it's tough to get. There's a rock starting to come up. This track really gets chewed up. It's going to be tough for the 250s coming up. Getting a lot rougher.
Sand out there, David. That's the first rock on the track I've seen. The checkers for Kevin Windham. And a great, great ride for this young man, an Eastern 125 rider, Stefan Roncada. Giving a high five to Kevin Windham. He's got to be a very thrilled young man. Robbie Raynard will place on the podium in 3rd. We're getting closer now to the 250 main. We'll be back with the official 125 results and a talk with our winner, Kevin Windham, when we return.
Makes massive bets.
A new court ruling could influence communications over the internet.
Workplace hero, the boss who knows you have another life.
Subscribe now and get 2 weeks of the Journal free with a paid 10-week subscription. That's 12 weeks for 66 cents per day. Call 800-327-8400. That's 800-327-8400 for the Wall Street Journal.
More air means more power.
Taking a look at Kevin Windham and his appreciation and my appreciation for that flexibility in that young man with the heel clicker as we glance at the top 10. First of all, the first 5, Windham, Roncada, Raynard, Brandis, and Keeney. Let's take a look through 6 through 10 right now as Marty Reed positioning himself with the very happy winner. His second win on the young season out of 3 races, coming back after getting a terrible day at the office in the second round in Los Angeles. Let's get on to Marty.
After an 8th place finish at our last round in Los Angeles, nice comeback, great ride.
Yeah, Los Angeles wasn't that good to me, and I went home this week and I worked really hard. I rode good there, I just made a few mistakes, but when I came here I just felt really good from working hard all week, and the crowd's behind us, and it's just really fun out here. I had a good time.
What was the difference as far as that outside pass on the first corner there? That was a bit of a breath taker.
Yeah, it's sand up there, and I felt like I had the whole shot, and somebody swept me on the outside, and I was just so ready to get it that I just went for it, and luckily it worked out for me.
Kevin Windham, your winner in tonight's 125 main. Moving over here to Robbie. What a great run.
I'm so happy tonight. You know, it's my second race here, and finish second for the second race. I'm so happy, you know, tonight. I did a really good race. I'm very happy.
You did a great job. You're supposed to be running the Eastern Series. You're giving these guys in the West all they can handle here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not understanding very well what you say.
Well, I'll tell you what. Your English is still better than my French. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And Robbie Reynard in third place. Robbie, come on and get in here. First 2 rounds, you had a lot of arm pump problems, physical fitness, but boy, tonight you had a tough start, but came back strong.
Yeah, I've been getting good starts at the last 2, and I got a lousy start here. And I just put a good moto together. I'm happy with my ride. I got a little bit of arm pump, but not as much as I was. I was able to keep my pace pretty much the whole moto, so I'm feeling a lot better. If I can just get a start with them, I think it'd be a good race.
It's a good comeback. Congratulations. Robbie Reynard, third place.
Thank you so much, Marty, as we take another look at the fantastic performance of Kevin Windham and how he dominated the Suzuki top 5-point standings. According to our calculations, Windham now with 63 points on the season in an effort to recapture the 125 Western Crown. So as the 125 celebration continues, let's take a break. Coming up next, can Jeremy McGrath break into the win column in the year of 1997? We will soon find out here at Sun Devil Stadium in Phoenix.
The Lombardi Trophy is the symbol of excellence in professional football, and the Super Bowl coin is the official symbol in sports collectibles. That's why the National Football League commissioned Balfour to craft the official game coin for Super Bowl 31. Now, you can reserve a limited edition bronze championship medallion for just $29.95. Each coin is individually numbered and authenticated and honors each conference champion. All advance reservations will receive a free collector's display case, but this is a limited edition, so call now to order yours. Call 1-800-257-5700.
While some people danced in the new year, others hiked 7 miles to start a backup generator, dug through landslides to put in new phone lines, and strung cable across the raging Mad River. It happened in California, where the rivers rampage, the earth crumbles, and thanks to people like these, the phones work.
You only think everyone is out to get you. The Blackhawks versus the Kings, tomorrow at 10:30. The NHL on ESPN2.
ESPN2 brings you a revolutionary basketball matchup. The Colonials and sharpshooter Tajma Abraham battle the Minutemen. George Washington versus UMass at 2. Sunday on ESPN2.
Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium. The parade lap is underway as we take a look at number 1, Jeremy McGrath. After some hard rounds in 1 and 2, hitting the podium, though, the second round in Los Angeles. In the second round, Jeremy McGrath hoping to get back into the win column like he did in '93, his rookie year, and then proceeded to the title. Lamson and Emig winning heat races, back on track, David.
They both looked really good, and the difference was that Lamson's heat was about 9 seconds faster than Emig, so a lot faster pace for Lamson, and both those guys got great starts and went wire to wire, so the start will be really important tonight.
It is a fact that the 3 previous races held here in Phoenix, the winner here has gone on to win the Supercross title. Johnson in '86, Jeff Ward in '87, and in the last race, Jean-Michel Bayle in 1991.
Well,
might Jeremy McGrath kind of slip into this scene and take a victory here tonight? It's a good track for him.
Well, I think it's a great track for him, and he's also had enough time to adapt to his new ride. And if you cruise around the pits and ask people, everyone seems to think that this might be Jeremy's night.
We see Jeremy McGrath as he circles the track, checking out the new ruts that might be there. The Suzuki starting grid: Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Emig, Steve Lamson, Mike LaRocco. This could be a good ride for LaRocco too, David Bailey.
There's a lot of riders in the first couple of rounds that have had to go to the semifinal and still had great results in the main event. So it's a good track for LaRocco. The rougher it gets, even with a bad start, because the rain has stopped and vision won't be a problem.
Well, let's go down and check on that track with Marty Reed.
Yeah, guys, this may be the kiss of death, but the rain has stopped. But track conditions, David, are excellent, except for the whoops. In fact, you're getting a little peek on it right now. A couple of grooves in there that could play havoc with some of the riders. But overall, track conditions have held up extremely well, and we have that light shower to thank for it.
Well, as they start through the whoops, you did get a good shot of how rutted out they are. That's not a continuous rut, but they are chopped up. And as you get through there and your front wheel hits one of those and starts sideways, it's bad news.
After seeing last week's winner, Doug Henry, check the torque out a little bit on that soil. We go back to the eyes of concentration right now, visualizing what's going to happen when that gate drops before 63,565 fans here where Arizona State University had such a great championship year. Doug Henry getting last-second advice from Pete Stonebreaker. Wyatt Seals leaning into McGrath. What is he saying right now?
Stay focused. It's only 20 laps. This is what you train for. You think about it all week. This is the time to make it happen. Get the start and pull away. The problem is that I think every other mechanic's telling their rider the same exact thing.
Henry readjusting the bike. 30-second board is up. We're just about set for the start of round 3 of the 4 Parts Unlimited AMA Supercross.
There's $1,000 at stake for the guy that gets the hole shot. They've painted a white chalk line across just before turn 2. First guy across that line will pick up an extra grand.
But the way that turn 2 is right now, he might not be the first one out of turn 2. We'll check it out. $1,000 for the 1-900 Pro Race Hole Shot Award. 5 to 10 seconds, and that gate will drop, and we'll be underway to see who wins the grand. It is Emming. Lamson goes down. A pile up behind Lamson. Hughes gets up out of that pile and is back in the race. Doug Henry also down. Damon Bradshaw along with Lammy. But our leader right now is Jeff Emming. Albertine just passing Huffman. Here comes Jeremy McGrath. Jeremy McGrath is coming up.
Here's another look. Watch Lamson. He slides out, goes down, takes out Bradshaw and Henry. A gift for Jeff Emig and McGrath. Great starts.
Okay, back to the leader, Jeff Emig now. Emig. And it's Albertine. And guess who? Number 1, Jeremy McGrath in good position. Larry Ward is in 4th position with Huffman in 5th. And Michael Craig in 6th. Then we've got Mike LaRocco as we take a look at our leader going for the second lap through that sand in turn number 2.
You can see Larry Ward getting a faceful from Jeremy. He challenged Jeremy all the way into that first corner. They bumped a little bit. Jeremy got the upper hand. Ward once again, round 3, up in the hunt, putting pressure on the leaders.
Here's the battle for second place. Jeremy McGrath trying to get up close to Albertine. Albertine, though, didn't crack under the pressure in round number 1 for his first U.S. Supercross victory. Larry Ward, number 6, getting the roost. You can see why those tear-offs are important today.
They're going to need them all, and another chance for Emig to have clear sailing. He did this at L.A. in round 1, but then he got nervous. First race of the season, all eyes were on him after winning the 250 National Championship, then the International Supercross Championship.
Damon Huffman, after a 4th place in the last round last week, is trying to put the squeeze, and he cased it a little bit right there with the mistake, giving Larry Ward a break.
A lot of little mistakes. Larry Ward almost went off the racetrack in the corner before the finish line jump, saved it. This track is starting to tear up a little bit. They did a great job to rebuild it after practice, but this kind of soil really wears down. You can see these choppy holes coming out of the corners in those berms. The rider's starting to steer away from those ruts.
Out in front is Jeff Emig. Not far behind is Albertine and Jeremy McGrath. And then it's Larry Ward and Damon Huffman. McGrath to the inside against his teammate with Team Suzuki, and he comes back a little bit as Albertine gets the advantage back again.
It's a great attempt by Jeremy to take the inside.
Here comes Jeremy again through the whoops.
It was amazing. He went to the inside and still almost jumped the double.
McGrath in second place to challenge Jeff Emig, baby. Albertine still right there with Larry Ward coming up in fourth. It's a tight three-bike train.
McGrath had to make that pass because Emig's starting to pull away, and if he gets out there with any kind of a lead, he can relax. No one will catch him. He's fast enough.
2 races this year, 2 different winners on 2 different brands. Can Jeff Emig hold on to make it 3 different winners on 3 different brands? I don't know. Jeremy McGrath has got good momentum there in second place, and it looks like he's catching Jeff Emig as they cut out of the corner. Emig doing a nice job on the triple. Jeremy staying low. Here's another look at the pass.
Albertine going wide just before the whoop section. As they start in, look at Jeremy carry the front wheel over all as gets better momentum, and he'll angle over, cut away the line from Albertine.
Here's Jeremy McGrath. He's cut a second off on that lap on Emig's lead now. He's only 2 seconds behind the Kawasaki machine of Jeff Emig.
He's the fastest guy on the racetrack right now. Emig and Albertine and Larry Ward and Huffman, all those guys stayed the same that time, but Jeremy moved away from the guys behind him and closer to Emig. He's on the move.
The concentration of Wyatt Seals as he goes to his pit board. Taste it. And that is exactly what Jeremy McGrath is doing. Pulling up within a bike length of Jeff Emig here in the early going of our 250 main event.
Oh, this will make Emig nervous, that's for sure. And look at Jeremy, never follows, going back to the inside again. Also a smart idea to keep out of that roost. You saw that roost from Emig on the outside right there. He's trying to keep clear vision.
Jeff Emig, the only rider to beat Jeremy McGrath on that Honda machine last year. He did it in his native St. Louis, Missouri area, but Emig is holding on for dear life here in Phoenix, Arizona. Not getting a good speed out of those little bump sections.
It's getting tough, and now that Jeremy's this close, he's going to have to start protecting his line. Look how far to the inside. He went in that corner, makes a little mistake there. It's good news for Jeremy.
A lot of wheel spin out of that corner.
Well, he had to go so much to the inside to protect his line. He didn't get a good exit out of the corner. This is where Jeremy's been fast.
What a battle! Jeremy McGrath takes this first lead of the season. Jeremy McGrath is going to have to hold on, though, as Jeff Emig's to the inside. Emig doesn't smash him. Clean pass, clean corner, and Jeremy McGrath is in the lead. Emig, though, not willing to give up, tries to block past him on the final turn before the finish line jump. Let's get out of Marty Reed.
Wyatt Seals, it took your boy 3 races to figure out that Suzuki.
Well, yeah, you're right, but it seems to be going good right now. Emig's not going to give up for a while if he gives up at all. So, I mean, Jeremy's got to stay in it, that's for sure.
You nervous?
The nerves are going a little bit now, for sure.
He's cranking. We got to let him get back to work.
Okay, Marty. McGrath with his worst Supercross finish ever in the first race this year. Only had this Suzuki a few days. Actually, he got the race bike on Friday before the Saturday night race in Los Angeles. A 15th place. He retrieved a 3rd then in the next race at Los Angeles Coliseum. So more time on the bike, getting it adjusted the way he wants it, obviously is paying off here in Phoenix.
Definitely paying off. I talked to DeCoster, and Jeremy had a lot more time on the bike this week. Got it dialed in, and it sure looks it here.
The battle for first place continues. Emig is not that far off with Albertine in 3rd. We'll be right back.
You're not with AT&T, are you?
No, I'm not.
So, are you happy?
Not really.
I was happier with AT&T. Well, we're making it simple to come back. How'd you like to get 100 free minutes just for switching to AT&T? That would be wonderful.
That's a real gift.
Well, there's a lot more. Introducing the new AT&T One Rate plan. Just 15 cents a minute on calls from home to anybody, anytime, anywhere in America.
That's great. It's a flat rate, anytime, anybody, anywhere.
I'm going to presume there's going to be a charge involved.
No, it's free.
It's even better.
No fees, no minimum spending, no time requirements, no restrictions, no games.
You can't beat that.
Call 1-800-YES-2-ATT. You'll get 1 low rate plus 100 free minutes for switching to AT&T. So what do you think?
I think the 100 free minutes is awesome.
The One Rate plan is excellent. There's no restrictions, no limits.
So what are you going to do?
Pick up the phone and switch to AT&T.
One rate, 100 minutes. Call 1-800-YES-2-ATT to switch.
Hey man, I can't believe that MVP thing. I got nominated for an award once. Best Direction, Hot Country Nights. Lost by 3 votes to a Gallagher special. Gallagher, what's that about? You did Hot Country Nights? Did it. I was it, my friend.
I'll catch the next one. Cool.
The Winter X Games continues tomorrow at 5 and 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, outside of Phoenix. McGrath, Emig, Albertine, and Ward are top 3 riders, as this main event has been a crackerjack.
That section right there that Jeremy just went through, he's been faster than everybody there all night. Just starting to open it up. Pretty much the same everywhere else on the racetrack as Emig, but that one section, he keeps opening it up.
About a 2.5-second lead already.
You know, after Jeremy made that pass, Emig had 2 chances to go in there and park Jeremy into the hay bales, and he didn't do it. That's got to make Jeremy feel good to know that he can go in there and race close like that and not really worry about getting taken out.
The situation a little bit different with Emig and Larocco last week.
A lot different, but I think Larocco drew first blood there, and Emig parked him pretty good the second time around and putting in a good ride here.
It's still a great race, though. Emig, if Jeremy McGrath should make a mistake, is right there.
DeCoster's got to be happy at Suzuki. Got 2 guys in the top 3. What a change from last season.
And 3 guys in the top 6.
A lot of changes over there for the better, and I think with Jeremy's experience and ability to test the motorcycle and set it up good, perhaps rubbing off on the rest of the team, they're getting those things dialed in.
Larocco and Hughes. Number 11 is Lusk. Craig is 15. Henry is number 20 after that bat. And Lusk is down. First time he's gone down this year. Jeremy McGrath spun out in that sand, and Emig is now in first place with Albertine in second and Jeremy McGrath in third with Larry Ward in fourth.
Well, he was happy a moment ago. There's DeCoster, concerned.
Just as we said, if Jeremy McGrath makes a mistake, Emig is right there ready, playing it cool in second place. And now Emig is trying to take away with the lead.
Oh, what a breath of fresh air for both Albertine and Emig. That it looked like Jeremy was going to run away with this. Now they got a second opportunity, and maybe it'll take Jeremy a lap or 2 to regain his composure.
Jeremy McGrath still looking very composed and very quick. He's trying to put the pressure on his teammate, at least 2 Suzuki riders anyway, as Jeremy McGrath forming his own team, Knack Racing. Greg Albertine, of course, with Team Suzuki. But right now, Jeff Emig, number 3, is in front of these 2 riders.
This is going to be tough for Jeremy now. He's already passed these guys once. They already know where he's quick on the racetrack. They'll probably make that adjustment, and it'll be a lot tougher for him to get around again.
So a bad break for Jeremy McGrath has him in third place. Picking up some space, though, in that far corner as they go into the triple. Jeff Emig looking smooth. Albertine. And then number 1, Jeremy McGrath. I have a feeling we're still going to have a barn burner here.
Well, anytime you look back and see Jeremy with the kind of career that he's had, no matter what's gone on in the race, if you look over your shoulder and see that number 1 plate coming, you're nervous. You got to protect your line. He's dangerous.
You think Emig would handle McGrath differently later in the race?
Definitely. He won't be quite as polite as he was before. I wouldn't expect him to be. If I was Emig, I'd do whatever it would take.
Right now we see the 2 Suzukis, but Albertine is getting up close now to Jeff Emig. Emig, number 3. Albertine, number 8. Ooh, Albertine.
This looks just like round 1. About this point in the race, too, where Emig was leading. Albertine putting the pressure on, got around. Emig making a little mistake. Lusk is down again.
Lusk having a bad day.
Both Lusk and Henry having a horrible main event here. They're going to drop a lot of points in the series standings.
Well, sometimes new scenery and new situations just what people need, and that's what we thought Ezra Lusk was going for. The new bike, the new team, a new look on the track, and new results, a 5th and a 2nd. And look at this. The battle is on between Suzuki's for second place, and Jeremy McGrath, a nice inside pass. Albertine breaks early, and Jeremy McGrath has got a little bit of space now to pick up on number 3, your leader. Albertine and McGrath, second and third.
Larry Ward, number 6 there behind Jeremy, really starting to put the pressure on by the finish line jump. Keeps getting close to Jeremy. He's getting a little quicker through the whoop section. Now look at David Huffman.
And Albertine is off the track. So Emig has a horrendous lead.
The battle for second behind Emig is a three-way battle now, and that may be to the benefit of Emig.
5 seconds in front of Jeremy McGrath. We've got a three-way battle for second place.
Oh!
Emig and Huffman goes off the track. Huffman very frustrated.
I don't know if he's hurt or if he's stuck. It's hard to tell if he's stuck in there.
Pulling his leg out between the hay bales.
He had a lot faster line through the whoop section, had a run on those guys. Both Ward and McGrath couldn't make the corner.
Emig now with a 6-second lead on number 1. In second place, Jeremy McGrath with Larry Ward. 3 bike links in back of number 1. There's Ward, number 6. What a great start on the season this privateer has made. He's already made $2,800 on privateer special awards beside the purse money.
I think he's been criticized a little bit by some of the other riders and even by me, but for settling for the podium, maybe not being as aggressive as I think he could be. And what he gained from that was a lot of confidence. A third and a fifth of the first 2 rounds, now putting pressure on McGrath. This guy's got to be feeling like he can do anything right now. And it looks like he's faster than Jeremy at certain points in the racetrack. If he stays close, he may be able to pass him.
At this point in the race, those two are 5.5 seconds in back of our leader. But Larry Ward certainly has gained a lot of strength over the last 3 weeks. Did not get much riding practice coming into the season because of the broken leg and torn tendons in the ankle. They took the pin out on the Friday before Saturday night's first round race in Los Angeles. And what a performance he had. A 3rd place podium performance in round 1. Came back with a 5th place. Still not up to par physically. Jeremy McGrath now starting to pull into the lead on Larry Ward, and more importantly, starting to pull up to our leader, Jeff Emig.
Right behind Larry Ward now is Ryan Hughes, who had a horrible first 2 events at LA. Having a great race here. Not a very good start, but he's getting stronger as the race goes on. Starting to make up some time on Larry Ward now, who's lost some time to McGrath. He may start worrying about...
Only about 3.5 seconds, David Bailey.
Right, I think Ward may be concerned more right now with Ryan Hughes coming up from behind. McGrath.
Ryan Hughes making a big charge behind Larry Ward as Ward gets caught in that sandy rut area. And we look at our leader, Jeff Emig. Jeff Emig now trying to gear it up and pull away from Jeremy McGrath.
I don't see it happening. Right now, Jeremy's starting to close the gap a little bit, and as soon as Emig looks back there and sees that number 1 coming again, it's going to change his riding.
He's not been able to close the gap on the last lap. Here's Ward and Hughes. Hughes battling it out. Hughes with a horrible start of the season is adverse to Larry Ward's.
You can see right there how fast Hughes is to that whoop section.
Hughes looks like he wants to take on McGrath.
He's not that far away. Got pretty sideways right there, but the way he's going through that whoop section, if he gets close enough to Jeremy, he'll make the pass, no doubt.
After Henry went down, Henry has now moved up to 6th place as we take a look at Larry Ward.
Still a good ride for Larry Ward, running 4th. He's got a pretty good gap over LaRocco, who's in 5th.
Look at the lap time on the Honda stopwatch. Emig with a 3.5 second lead on Jeremy McGrath right now. And 55.2 the unofficial lap time.
About the same as Wyndham in the 125 class. I think on the 125 you can be a little bit more aggressive in some places. I know I've said that before, but that's the case.
Damon Huffman, after crashing into the hay bales in the pits.
Just behind Emig.
Looks like Huffman is pulling out of the race. Yes, he's going back to the pit area. As his Kawasaki teammate, Jeff Emig, has taken another half-second lead on Jeremy McGrath. Emig, McGrath, and Hughes, 1, 2, and 3 with Ward in 4th. Let's go down to Marty Reed, who's with Jeff Emig's mechanic.
Jeremy Albrecht. It looks like Jeff's got a nice rhythm right now, and he's maintaining the space between he and Jeremy.
Yeah, he is. You know, he's had a couple bad weeks. Things just haven't been going his way. He rode well last week, but the week before not too good. But basically, he's tired of doing bad, and he's ready to go out here and make it look, you know, make it happen like he's doing now. So looks like he's just trying to stay focused and just think about what he's doing, and that's what he's doing.
We'll see you in just a few minutes, I think, in victory lane, guys.
Well, anything can happen in this sand, as Jeremy McGrath found out earlier in the race, that's for sure. Kawasaki has never won here in Phoenix. Emig won a 125 race back in 1991 when he was on a Honda. As we take a look at Jeremy McGrath trying to pick up some space on Jeff Emig, but Emig is just riding beautifully.
Well, he had a great opportunity once Jeremy went down to kind of get a second win. You can see how deep these ruts are getting in the corners. There's Ryan Hughes. He's pulled up quite a bit on McGrath now. McGrath keeps on reaching over the triple jump. I'm not sure what he's doing. He takes his left hand off the handlebar and looks like he's adjusting something every time.
Might have been after the bike went down. It got bent up a little bit. Jeremy McGrath still looks awfully good after going down.
Emig had a great chance to regroup once he got the lead again, and riding a lot more relaxed like we would expect. One more lap to go.
Wyatt Seals appealing as the white flag waves in the air. Don't settle for second place, but Ryan Hughes, in his aggressive style, we might have a last lap battle here for second, as Jeff Emig looks like he will become the third different rider in 3 rounds to win a Supercross race this year. Jeremy McGrath, it's reported from the pits, has a clutch problem right now, and Ryan Hughes is trying to take advantage of it. Let's go to Marty.
Yeah, guys, I talked to Wyatt Seals, and I said, what's he adjusting? He says it's a clutch. It's a problem that they've experienced and is just holding on now.
It might tell in the whoop sections, David.
Well, it's the last chance Ryan Hughes is going to have to get around McGrath for second. Looks like Hemmig's going to be able to hold on to it.
Jeff Emig takes round number 3. Oh, what an exciting start to the series for 1997 in Supercross. And a record 63,565 fans saw Jeff Emig become the third winner of the season. Emig and Hughes sandwiching around Jeremy McGrath for Team Kawasaki, and Emig saluting his former crew chief and leader, Roy Turner, who moves on after this race. We'll be back in a moment.
Now is the time to train for the career you've always wanted. Just ask Motorcycle Mechanics Institute graduate Al Luddington, now lead mechanic for Honda's championship-winning Smoke and Joe's Superbike team.
MMI gave me the knowledge and training to take me to the top of my profession. It's a great place to start, and I recommend it to anybody looking to kick off a career in motorcycle mechanics or the personal watercraft industry.
Change your life with one phone call, 1-800-994-3664. That's 1-800-994-3664. Call today.
AMA Supercross on ESPN2 has been brought to you by Honda, the winners of the last 9 straight 250 Supercross championships. Honda, come ride with us. And by Suzuki. Right now, your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. There's our winner, Jeff Emig. And what an exciting start to the season, David Bailey. 3 winners, 3 races. Kawasaki's team crew chief, Roy Turner, retiring, going on to another job, I should say, in another industry, really. But Jeff Emig saluting him earlier on the qualifying podium, saying this one's for him. And what a great way to go out, and what a great way to start a 1997 Supercross season.
Well, the entire Kawasaki team's got to be happy, except for Huffman, who was having a great ride, a great ride for Hughes, who had a terrible first couple of rounds, but both of them on the podium. Roy Turner's got to be very happy with this.
Here's the top 10 results. Emig, McGrath, and Hughes will end up on that podium with Larry Ward. Another good top 5 performance as the leading privateer. Let's go down to Marty Reed.
A very happy Jeff Emig. This was a turning point for you back in 1991 when you won a 125 race. You must love Phoenix.
Well, I just had a really great bike tonight. Kawasaki with the Bridgestone tires. It was great. It was great off both starts. I got that $1,000 bonus. That's always nice. And McGrath was charging real hard there at the beginning. I was fortunate that he went down, and I just really kept my cool, and I rode the same laps that I did all night. And I'm just really happy that I can, get a win here after those last 2 weekends. But I would like to thank Shoei Helmets, Alpine Star Boots, Shift Gear, Arnett Goggles, and Troy Lee Design, and all the fans that are here too. Thanks.
I've got to ask you also, 3 different winners, 3 different manufacturers. This is going to be a dogfight this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's totally wide open. I guess I was pretty happy to see Greg Albertine win the one, and then Doug Henry win the second one, and I knew that if it went that sort of way, that even though my points and my finishes haven't been that good, that if I just use my head and ride real well, that I can get right back up there. And I'm really happy to win here tonight, and I'd like to thank my girlfriend Lonnie for coming out, and just all my friends and stuff that were here.
I think they've got something for you here. Take a look at this. What's it say on there? Another $1,000 bonus from 1-900 Pro Race. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I'd like to thank 1-900 Pro Race for putting that in. I've been a pretty good start, and Kawasaki's been really good off the start, and so hopefully we can win these $1,000 bonuses every week, make some money.
All right, let's switch over to second place. Come here. I know you're not happy. Take us through what happened when you went down.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Gary Samix. We had a long talk before the main event, and he's trying to spark some of that fire back in me. Last few weeks we've been struggling with the bike, and the bike's excellent. I love it. Just haven't had enough time on it. And, I was in the mode there, and I just tipped over. It was kind of a brain fade.
Yeah, but you've got to feel encouraged because of 3rd place last week, 2nd place this week. That means there's only one more rung of the ladder to climb.
Yeah, that's for sure. I wish I could put Suzuki on the top right now. Had it in the bag and just brain fade, which usually isn't me, and I'm looking forward to the next race and start doing more of what I was supposed to be doing during the week.
Is it more fun this year with all the competition, knowing that everybody's got a chance at this, or would you like to go back to last year when you were just thumping the field?
Well, of course I like to win a lot and thump the field, but it's great to see different winners. I was really happy for Suzuki and Greg, and especially for Doug after all the problems he's had. And it's just a mix-up, so it's going to be good down to the end, and I'm looking forward to getting my bike better, exactly how I like it, and just more time on it. I mean, my Suzuki's great. I just need to get up there.
We'll see you in round 4.
Thanks.
Let's move over to 3rd place. A great ride for Ryan Hughes. Congratulations.
Yeah, I kind of got a bad start. The last couple weekends have been real tough for me. I've been sick and having a couple bike problems, but the guys at Kawasaki have been working really hard and getting the bike the way I want it, and I can't say thanks enough for how much they've worked for me. And I wanted to do good tonight for Roy Turner because he's leaving our team, and that kind of sad, but I want to get a good finish for him and start getting up there and start winning these races.
When you said you had a rough couple of weeks, I mean, you had food poisoning, and that's nothing when you're just walking, let alone trying to ride these things.
Yeah, it was tough. I was up all night throwing up and stuff, but I just keep fighting, and I'll get up there where Jeff is tonight. I want to congratulate him. He rode a really good race, and I can't say enough for Kawasaki and Thor, Bell, Scott, Bridgestone, my mechanic, Ron, and everybody at Kawasaki have done really good, and I just want to get up there where Jeff's at.
Guys, Ryan Hughes, 3rd place.
Thank you very much, Marty. And according to our unofficial calculations up here in the booth, Henry's recovery after going down put him a 6th place finish, which, if correct, would keep him in 1st place in the points, with Larry Ward, the top privateer, in front of 3 guys who's knocking it out in the points system: Albertine, McGrath, and Emig. So it looks like it's coming down to a great, and it's only the 3rd round, David.
Yeah, it's not coming down to anything, really. We got a long ways to go before we're coming down to the final race, but if this is any indication, I think it's going to be a really close battle. And like Emig said, it was a blessing in the beginning where the results were kind of surprising, really, because the favorites ended up getting bad starts and off to some poor results and able to recover from that with good finishes here tonight. Art, as you already pointed out, whoever's won this race in the previous 3 times has gone on to win the title. Could that be for Emig?
I don't know, though. I don't know if it's going to be that close, as close as it is this year during those past 3 years here in Phoenix, Arizona. Of course, we had 2 races back in the 80s, the late 80s, and then the 1 race in 1991 with Jean-Michel Bayle. But 3 different winners in 3 times, and Jeremy McGrath right there competing. We couldn't ask for a better race on the underway. Let's go back down to Marty Reed.
Guys, for a close, I can't imagine what this year is going to turn out like. I mean, last year, all 3 of us knew every time we came to the racetrack that Jeremy McGrath was going to be the guy to beat. And, you know, 13 out of 14 times he went to victory lane. It was getting to a point where I didn't even know what to ask him in victory lane. In fact, remember one time I even gave him the microphone and said, "What do you want to talk about?" Well, this year, it's a breath of fresh air when we have 3 different riders in the first 3 rounds of racing taking the checkered flag, 3 different manufacturers. So now everybody's got something to brag about. Everybody's got something to hang their hat on. And we are going to see Jeremy McGrath in victory lane before the season's over. It's amazing to me how quickly also he has adjusted his riding style. The Suzuki doesn't have the low-end torque that the Honda has, and it's forced him to change the way he goes through the whoops, over the jumps, and every time out, except for that one mistake tonight, I mean, he rode a really good, strong race on a bike that he's had very little practice time. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It sure will, Marty. And we see on the screen right now the winner of tonight's race, Jeff Emig, who, while you were on the air, Marty, was hugging his former leader, Roy Turner. And this will be Roy's last race with the team. Let's go back down now to the floor of the stadium as we might get a word from Roy Turner.
Yeah, for anybody who hasn't been around this sport for the last 20 years, you may not know this guy, but if you have been a part of Supercross and motocross racing, we're going to miss you, Roy.
Well, I'll miss it all, too. I mean, this has been a big part of my life for a lot of years. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great. And I'll be around. I won't be gone for long. You know, I'll be around the races. I love it. It's part of me, so you'll see me around.
A few less hairs, and a few of the ones that are left are gray, but what's been the highlight of your career?
To sum it all up in one highlight, it's impossible. I mean, when you've been doing something like this for 25 years, there's just too many things that have happened. I think I just have to say the whole thing. It's been an experience from the beginning to the end, and it's something that'll always be a part of my life.
Can I put you on a spot and have you pick your best and favorite Kawasaki rider?
Boy, that's tough to say. I mean, there's been a lot of good ones, and you know, they're all great in their different ways, and we've had so many of them through our camp. I can't say. I mean, my first one was Jimmy Weinert, and he was great, and the guys I've got now when I'm going out, they're great, and there's been a lot of great ones in the middle. Of course, Wardy. I mean, he's done more in motocross as far as number of championships and being a legend than as much as any rider has. So there's been a lot of them, and it's been a great experience all along the way.
All right, you were talking about Jeff Ward, obviously, but what about the remainder of this year? Take that Kawasaki uniform off for me. Who's going to end up winning this championship?
Well, in my mind, I think, and actually in all the spectators' minds, I think we were going to be the team to beat from the beginning. And we got off to a bad start. We had a lot of sickness with the team in the beginning, and the guys really didn't get a fair shake at it. And I think they've kind of woke up here. They're well now, and we've got past a couple little equipment problems we had. And I've got to say, we're the powerhouse team, and I think you're going to see our guys there in the end.
All right, he still sounds like a Kawasaki guy at heart. We got to move, guys, because there's a guy with a bulldozer with a blade about yay big that's about ready to plow us.
Well, Marty, it sounds almost like looking back on the race right now, a Hollywood scriptwriter had something to do with it, because Roy Turner in his last race as team manager, moving on to another job, and it's a situation where the race was dedicated to him in his 20th year with Kawasaki, about 14 years, I believe, as their team leader, their team manager. And what a great feeling it must be for Jeff Emig to be able to hand that victory over and get his first victory of 1997 after following up with that great victory in St. Louis last year. So that's the third victory for number 3 as we see him go through the jumps right here. Jeff Emig, Number 3, his 3rd Supercross win of his career. Now, David Bailey, a 9th place unofficial finish. I had Lamson finishing. This is a tough pill for the team Honda to swallow.
Well, I think that for Honda, all the emphasis is on Steve Lamson right now. He's the only rider. They roll out the new semi with one guy in it. Although they're giving him all the support now, where a lot of it was, of course, focused on Jeremy McGrath last year, that's a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing. That added pressure has really seemed to take its toll on Lamson in these first 3 rounds. 3 tries and 3 mistakes have really cost him.
And, of course, the privateer effort of Larry Ward. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that Larry Ward would be up there in the top 4, top 5, shows a lot of toughness. And he's going back to the place he won his only Supercross, Seattle, Washington, next week. Hope you can join us. Art Ekman for David Bailey and Marty Reed. So long, everybody.